Hello, my name is Luke Cordiano, and today I'm going to talk about how perception works in communication. Specifically, how we organize information into patterns and how that affects the way we interpret and respond to other people. This process happens automatically, but it strongly influences how we communicate every single day. The question I'm answering is how we organize information into patterns, when that helps communication, and when it can actually become harmful. This is important because communication is not just about what is said, but how we interpret it. What is perception? Perception is the process of selecting, organizing, and interpreting information. In communication, this includes how we interpret words, tone, and facial expressions, and behavior. Because there is too much information happening at once, our brain simplifies it by creating patterns. These patterns help us understand messages quickly instead of analyzing everything in detail. Why patterns matter. Patterns are important because they create mental shortcuts. Without them, communication would be overwhelming because we would have to analyze every single detail of every interaction. Instead, patterns allow us to quickly understand what someone's trying to say and how to respond in real time. Communication benefits. One major benefit is that patterns help us understand messages faster. We can recognize tone, emotion, and intent almost instantly. This makes conversation smoother and reduces confusion. It also helps us respond appropriately in social situations without needing everything fully explained. Real-life examples. We use this in everyday communication. For example, we read facial expressions to understand how someone is feeling. We also interpret tone of voice to understand whether someone is serious, joking, or upset. In conversations, we rely on these patterns to respond quickly and keep communication flowing naturally. Harmful effects. However, this process could also create problems. When we rely too heavily on patterns, we may stereotype people or make assumptions about them. This can lead to miscommunication because we interpret messages based on expectations instead of what is actually being said. It could also create bias and lead to misunderstandings or conflict. Overall, patterns are necessary for effective communication because they help us process information quickly. However, they could also distort meaning if we rely on them too much. Being aware of this helps us become better communicators by staying open-minded and more accurate on how we interpret others. Thank you very much, and that's my slide on communication and interpretation.